A feed is only interesting if it's a feed of people you follow, so before we can build one, users need to be able to follow each other. In this lesson, we'll model that relationship, and we'll also write our first custom decorator to protect the routes that change it. Let's start with the decorator, because we're about to need it. Following someone should only be possible when you're logged in. We could check the session at the top of every protected view, but that gets repetitive fast. Instead, we'll write a login required decorator once and apply it wherever we need it. Open the helpers PI file in utils and extend the imports at the top. We need wraps from functools, which keeps the wrapped view's name and docstring intact. We need callable from typing for the annotations. And from Quart, redirect, request, session, and URL for, which together are everything the decorator needs to inspect who is logged in and send everybody else to the login page. Then add the decorator below getUser by username. A decorator is a function that wraps another function to add behavior around it. Ours wraps a view. Before the view runs, it checks the session, and if nobody's logged in, it redirects to the login page instead of running the view. There's one detail that's easy to get wrong in an async app. The wrapper decorated function is itself declared async, and it awaits the real view. If we wrote a plain function that returned a coroutine, Quart wouldn't recognize it as a coroutine function and wouldn't await it properly. So the wrapper must be async too. Now the model. We need to decide what a follow actually is. On Facebook, friendship is mutual. If we're friends, we both see each other. On Twitter, following is one directional. I can follow you without you following me back. We'll go with the Twitter style because it's simpler and it's what a feed really needs. Create a relationship folder with an empty init py and a models py inside it. This table is interesting because it points back at the user table twice. Each row is one follow, FM user ID is the user doing the following, the from user. And to user ID is the user being followed, the to user. Both columns are foreign keys to user ID. A foreign key tells the database these values must be real user IDs. So we can never have a follow that points at a user who doesn't exist. A single table referencing another table from two different columns like this is how you model a graph of connections between rows of the same kind. Now the views. Create relationship views py. We set up the blueprint and, right away, a form with no fields. Why a form for a follow button? Because following changes data, so it must be a post, and every post in our app is CSRF protected. Empty form has no visible inputs, but it still carries a CSRF token we can validate. It's the smallest possible protected form. Next, two small query helpers in the same file. Is following answers a yes or no question? Is there a row where this from user follows this to user? We use it to decide whether a profile shows a follow or an unfollow button. Followers returns the IDs of everyone following a given user. We don't need it on screen yet, but keep it in mind. When someone posts, this is the exact list of people whose feeds that post should land in. It's the seed of the whole feed system. Now the actions themselves follow and unfollow. Here's the decorator paying off. We stack a login required right under the root, and now this view simply can't run for a logged out visitor. Inside, we validate the CSRF token through empty form, look up the target user, and 404 if there's no such person. Then we insert the follow, but only if two things hold. You're not trying to follow yourself, and you're not already following them. That guard keeps the table clean and avoids duplicate rows. When we're done, we send you back to the profile you were looking at. Unfollow is the reverse, a delete instead of an insert. Same shape, same protection. We find the target user and delete the row where you follow them. If the row isn't there, the delete simply affects nothing, which is fine. Now register the blueprint, open application PY, import relationship app, and register it alongside user app. Now tell Alembic about the new model. Open migrations, env py, and add the import next to the user one. Now run the migration for the new table. AutoGenerate compares our models against the database, sees that the relationship table is missing, and writes a new revision file for us. Then upgrade head applies that revision and creates the relationship table, with its two foreign keys pointing back to the user table. The follow buttons live on a user's profile, and we don't have a profile page yet, so let's add a simple one. Open user views PY. We'll need a few more imports here, plus our helpers and the relationship functions. Then add the profile view. We look up the user whose profile this is and 404 if they don't exist. Then we work out our relationship to them. Is this my own profile? Am I already following them or not? That drives which button we show. We also count their followers with a quick query. The one new looking thing is follow form. We create an empty form and hand it to the template purely so the follow and unfollow buttons have a CSRF token to submit. We'll reuse this pattern every time a page has an action button. Finally, the profile template. Create templates user profile.html. We show the username and follower count, then choose a button based on the relationship the view computed. If we're already following, we render an unfollow form. If not, a follow form, and if it's our own profile, we render neither. Each form carries the CSRF token from follow form. Time to try it. Bring the app up and head to the registration page. Register a first account, Jorge, then a second one, Maria, so we have two users to connect. Now log in as Jorge. Then visit Maria's profile page. There's the follow button our new route is wired to. Click it and the page comes back with the button flipped to unfollow and the follower count at 1. You've just built a social graph. Next, we'll make profiles worth visiting by adding avatars.